All right. Happy Thursday, everyone. We're back with some more Disco Elysium. Maybe if I can get loaded. Still don't know exactly what to do, but I just guess I just have to find more people to talk to. Search more things. I mean, it is only the first day, so. Ooh, money. I like money. No, I don't. Cam Galloway. I've talked to him already. I need to find a plastic bag.
Welcome to Rivachol.
Announces the rotund man. The remark isn't addressed to you. It's addressed to the lieutenant. Why are you addressing my partner like that?
Don't you welcome to Rivachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
You tell him.
It's men like you who keep Rivachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
Limbo? What's going on here?
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Rivachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here.
Oh my.
That I should watch myself and behave.
Hold on, I'm trying to move something. Come on. There we go. Oh. Yeah.
But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Silence. The air between them becomes tense. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Ooh, okay. This one seems a little intense. Yeah, that just doesn't address it. This is a little intense. I'm hoping this has the outcome I want. Well, I think we all learned something here, smiled the lorry man.
I haven't learned anything I didn't know before.
The lorry man shakes his head with indignation.
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness.
Now that that's settled, we have a couple of questions.
Whatever you say, officers.
He waits impassively, cigarette smoldering between his fingers. I found this mug in the trash. Show it to the man. Yours?
Oh man, that's great. Look at that kite go. Haven't seen anything that funny in a while.
Is it yours?
God man. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
He doesn't live in Martinez.
What are you hauling?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
Wait, how long has this been going on then?
The strike? Oh, they've been at it for a while. A month, 2 months maybe. But this here is just the last week or so.
What kind of cargo are you supposed to pick up?
Apples.
Apples?
Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions?
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest, you were bested.
What was that argument all about?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Oh, so you're just a racist. Makes sense.
I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books. Huh? The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that.
Yes, I can really tell you're a prime example of superior design. I hope that's sarcasm.
Open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe? Huh? When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources.
Okay, and?
This concerns you, policeman, so you better be vigilant. The damn kids are showing up good lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruder species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory.
Wait, what's this cultural victory?
It's what the kips of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. Heard any chansons lately? Heard any motetos or leader? No. Dominating culture is how they plan to win. They say so themselves. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring.
Yeah, I'm not down with this. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Don't push your luck, runt.
The man gives you a disgusted look, then turns his attention elsewhere, ignoring your presence. Let's just talk to people, I guess.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open.
A young girl with chubby red cheeks waves at you, smiling. Her nose is also red from the cold. Hello.
Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
She stomps her feet to feel warmer. Is it okay if I ask you some questions?
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
What is your name?
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock.
The girl gazes at the window, then suddenly jolts, her eyes wide, as if recalling something.
Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
And you're standing out here in the cold
I'm
because...
signalling that the store is open.
She nods
Otherwise,
eagerly.
people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face, smiling. But she's cold.
I could help by brutally dismantling the free market. You're cold. Can I help in some way?
Kind of you to offer, sir.
She doesn't know what else to say.
What could you do to help her anyway?
I should have a word with the store owner, maybe.
Oh, no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice in my vacuum bottle to keep warm.
Shouldn't you be at school or something?
I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
Isn't going to school more important than this?
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
How's the business going?
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders.
Cursed? In what way?
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go...
Bankrupt.
Exactly. But we've been doing fine so far.
This sounds rather serious. I should probably look into this.
We can go into the bookstore and ask about the case, but I don't see much more to look into here.
Lieutenant makes a note in his notebook.
Yes. Please do also look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games are there, sir.
How does this curse manifest itself?
It does not manifest itself in any way. It does not exist. I liked it better when we were talking about whether it's appropriate to stand out in the freezing weather.
Fine, I'll show you.
Anything else you wanted to talk about, sir?
Mm-hmm. Enough about the curse for now.
Maybe I can tell you about some of our books instead.
What is this, crime business?
Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Okay, I get it. Crime, murder gets the people going.
And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You can guess who the criminal is or how the good guys are going to catch him.
I'm a policeman myself, by the way.
You don't look much like a policeman.
She examines you as if to find something policeman-like. Well, what does a cop look like then?
Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
She points to a book cover on which you see a strapping Vespertine officer. He stands grimly over the body of a dead woman. Well, these are all kind of dark in their own way. It's not your body that's important in police work anyway. It's your point to your head.
Head? Yes.
No, it's your soul. Your blue soul.
Soul. That Mullen guy looks like a Hampelman. Who could respect that face? It's not even drawn correctly. He lacks soul.
I'm not sure I understand.
A policeman's got to have the right stuff, an ingrained sense of the law. No one would follow a weakling like Mullen. See, I didn't expect it to go like this.
If you say so, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for your soul. Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books.
The cover image of Dick Mullen seems to stare at you with harsh disapproval. Oh my gosh. 58% chance.
You
Dang
failed
it.
to deduce anything substantial. She waits intently.
Dang it. I'm a detective. I deduce that you are a girl.
Come on, anyone would notice that.
Okay, bye. See you around, Annette.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance.
The clerk extends a greeting.
Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
So, are you the owner of this store?
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Her voice is high-pitched, as if to give it more penetration.
She has fine-tuned her voice to find the most welcoming approach for attracting new customers. It doesn't work.
Your daughter is the one standing outside the store, right?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
Ooh.
Her opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store.
I'm not going to grade a human being. I don't do that.
Come now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. I expect an answer.
10. She's certainly very polite and helpful.
My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
The way you're handling her strikes me as wrong.
Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's none of your or anyone's business.
Denial is the way she copes with criticism.
I'm here to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor.
You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening.
Depends. How much do you pay the kid?
Good sir. What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her as a fund. She's securing her financial future out there.
Oh, I guess I was mistaken.
Indeed. Are we done with the jokes now?
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
Okay, let's change the subject.
The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
What if I want to buy a book?
Then why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? See those shelves there? Go. Be drawn.
So what type of books do you have?
Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself. The shelves compel you, don't they?
All right, I'll take a look then.
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
She has no idea what's in her store. She expects the kid to do it all. The girl outside mentioned that this place is cursed.
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir.
Doesn't feel like it's thriving. Feels ghostly.
Farewell for now, book peddler.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
Look through the display of books.
Rows and rows of Hyundai men blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Hyundai and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Hyundai, Return to Hyundai. And the solipsistic Man from Hyundai and the Hyundai Man.
Good God, how many are there?
Maybe 100. Man from Hyundai and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Hyundai and the false god. Man from Hyundai and the scorched earth.
All right,
Man
enough.
from here. The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Hyundai novels.
Pain threshold medium. Do any of the books call out to me?
A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts twitching.
What is it?
Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular Man from Hyundai in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne, leering at the man. She's laughing at him, belittling him. Between the throne and the Hyundai man lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the woman's headdress looks like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Hyundai and the Devil Woman.
Interesting.
The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Hyundai novels.
Screw it. I want to buy Man from Hyundai and the Devil Woman.
It is a bestseller for a reason.
The edges of the pages are worn and smudged. A lot of people have read about the Devil Woman's altercations with the Hyundai man.
Look at the back cover.
The jacket copy proclaims, Man from Hyundai returns in his most exciting adventure yet. After crashing into a strange jungle, cannibalistic natives abduct his only surviving comrade, Noble Tyribald. Before Man from Hyundai can mount a rescue, he is ambushed by a tribe of female warriors and taken to the ancient citadel of Cloud City, where a mysterious and wicked queen rules supreme. Will Man from Hyundai be able to escape his dire situation and find his missing friend?
Oh boy. Time to flip through the book.
You open the book to a random page. Man from Hyundai wielding his two Zweihanders, is carving through a sea of savages, his visage fixed in grim determination. His arms, whirling like windmills, are soaked with the blood of his enemies. Mangled corpses litter the battlefield. You flip to the copyright page. This book was written in 38.
Oh shit, gritty and heroic.
Berserker rage burns in his azure-hued eyes as he brings glory and honor to his long-lost Heimdalla tribe. From the village of Heimdall, the ivory giant roars like an ice bear, and the winds of Katla howl out his name.
Give me more.
Man from Heimdall rides on a gilded griffin, his golden mane billowing in the breeze. Both Zweihanders sheathed on his back. He is off to war. Will he conquer his enemies? Will he conquer himself?
Indeed, onward.
The steel muscles of man from Heimdall gleam in the humid jungle air. Yet the man does not sweat. In meditation, his soul drifts in the frigid northlands he calls home.
Holy shit, this is so me. Really get into the book.
A passage reads, "The man from Heimdall looks up, his eyes blue as the mountain lakes of his homeland. He rarely speaks, but now his voice booms in the darkened throne room. Do not try to sap my masculine essence, wicked temptress. Son of Heimdall will never succumb to your seductive wiles. Thine spells are no match for purity and strength of will.
I have to get something for
Brothers
this,
of
right?
Heimdall, stand above the vices of flesh, for it is weak and corruptible, yet mine is forged in gore and strife." Queen Lydiana just laughs, a sultry and salacious sound, then says, "I have grand plans for you, man from Heimdall." She gestures her diabolical hand toward an array of potions and unguents. "First, you shall please me. Then lead my armies against the vicious cannibals. Not a muscle moves in the face of the man from Heimdall. Yet inside, there is turmoil. This goes against all he holds sacrosanct."
Wow, this is epic.
In the final pages, man from Heimdall mounts Galavarin, his mighty griffin, and turns his gaze to the horizon. Queen Lydiana is dead, but an army of cannibals is storming the gates, and still there's no word of trusty Tyribald. To find out what happens next, you'll have to pick up Man from Heimdall and the Three-Eyed Skull, available in fine bookstores everywhere. Spring 39.
I didn't get anything for that. Let's go
It's
name.
just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
I guess I never actually looked at these. There's quite a lot to read into here, actually. Look at all that content.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
This mug is an example of prejudice. I'm going to use it as an example of what not to do.
But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it? Or do some volunteering work. Just finish your case, detective.
Alright, what else we got in here?
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Look through the pile of Wirral-related items.
An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag.
Anything that really catches my eye?
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure
Can't spend
board
all my
game.
money in here, though.
That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense.
Just spend all of my money on board games and books.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
Shopkeeper, what's behind the curtains?
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
Examine the strange cage-like trinket.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges.
And who are the Seminese?
Inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme, the Seminine Islands down south. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you.
Ignore the curtains for now. When she's not paying attention?
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature.
Storekeep, what books are these?
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not for free. I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh no!
Look through the shelf.
Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services.
Interesting.
Various paranatural books still litter the shelf.
Okay.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinaise.
Storekeep. Oh, wait, I can just get
The north
information.
coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East.
And west of the river?
Houdon, it's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst.
And Martinaise?
It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is. North of Jamrock, the strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbour. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. No, Coal City is worse. A charred limb. Rain falls on its slick black streets. And then there's the burnt-out quarter in the heart of Jamrock. Is it cold in this bookstore? Or is it just you?
Storekeep, can I buy these maps?
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinaise is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinaise is 90 cents, though.
You see? Why is the one of Martinaise so cheap?
That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up or 5 years ago, they also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
What happened then?
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
I want to buy the map of Martinez.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
The worn map features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinez, with directions to appropriately touristy locations. Year 48 resides on the upper right corner.
Alright, trace a path through the grid.
Your finger moves through the various streets, across Rue de Saint-Ghislain and Rue Saint-Sipar, over Saint-Brun and Martinez North, finally coming to a halt on the spot where you are currently standing, although the map gives no such indication itself.
For a more detailed view of the map, go to your journal and select the Map tab.
Cool. Yeah. It's only been how long? We finally have a map. I mean, I kind of already had this though, right? I mean, maybe it's more detailed now. So see, I need... Is there another way across besides taking the bridge? Because here's the docks and everything. I need to get over here. Alright, well, we need to come back and check out that curtain at some point. Wonder if Annette has any more.
Hello again, sir.
Nothing new for me. This guy's still messed up down here. Ooh, can I take his bag? Yeah. Now I can pick up recycling and sell them.
This
Oh.
coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Vandalism.
Probably some kids.
Poor little viewer.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Look inside.
A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side.
It's Kuno.
N and C
Yep.
scribbled backwards. That's Kuno on the lens.
Shift your focus to the background.
Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the Star of Pericanasis, or the Cairo, the central symbol of the Pericanassian Church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows.
Do I have to equip it or something? Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, it's a ticket for everyone.
Hey, up here, Pigger.
Yeah, it's her with the gun.
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Yeah, when were you last tested? We just want to know your name, little lady. No need to get defensive.
And here I was trying to be polite. Just can't win with you pigs.
Despite the sass, she puts the brush aside.
She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes the opportunity to challenge authority in other ways.
You keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at?
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms.
She nods disdainfully towards the woman performing maintenance on the boat docked next to the pier.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez.
Who is she?
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing.
It's true.
You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to Ozon.
What are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
She studies the wall, suddenly pensive. So you don't know what to write?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
Why are you so committed to facing the building?
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation.
I have an opinion on this. Want to hear it?
Yeah?
Ooh. I wonder if she has my gun. I really feel like she does. So I don't want to alienate her, but I don't like vandalism either. So, yeah. I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about the recent murder?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
Catch you later, Cindy.
Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
I wonder, does that affect... No, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't affect stats.
A striking woman, leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good evening, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds out her hand over the railing. What gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
What is implied here? That you're a drunk?
Joyce L., what does the L stand for?
Clayton, my maiden name.
Her bony hand dangles from the sleeve of her oversized raincoat. I'm not a drunk. I'm a police officer.
Of course you're not. It was only a joke.
RCM, what is that? I'm a little foggy here.
I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia, the police.
Shake her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold, and she seems relieved.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
You give me too much credit there, Kim.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
You seem rich. Can I have some money? What can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Wait, what if I want to hear about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus? I will slay it.
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
Leave it alone.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
What is your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Interesting.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Oh, you mean Measurehead?
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
I punched him, and then I kicked him. How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan.
Oh, the horror.
This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to, how did he put it?
She pauses to compose herself.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Interesting.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
What are their
There
demands?
are leaflets everywhere and banners. What did they say again? Oh, yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Seems like they have no idea about business.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker, a member of the board.
Most of them probably don't know what that means.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
That's pretty funny, I have to admit.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
Tomorrow.
This checks out.
The scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
What do you think of Everard?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
That's Everard's alright.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
I remember hearing something about this Edgar.
Have you seen him?
No.
Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the Union itself, outside the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, we are forced to cooperate with them.
refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
I prefer not to have an opinion on these things.
Of course, officer.
One more thing. You said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Interesting.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Some kind of extortion, probably.
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
That's all I need here. Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
All right. She's got a lot to her. I think I'm gonna stop for there, and we'll come back to this because I feel like I'm gonna be here for a little bit. Thank you. That's actually, can I? No, I can't save right now. Thank you. That's all for now.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
That's me, Mr. Reasonable. Someone's got to keep it sane around here.
The air suddenly feels calmer, more transparent in a strangely tender way. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin. But something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
No more talk. Sign me up for a passport.
I knew we could trust you. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, we are all going to be so much happier.
So what did that give me? -2 half-light? What does that do? Hold on, how do I... Can't remember how to look at those. Here? Yeah. Oh, okay. Half-light is your fight or flight response. It enables you to sense the way situations are about to turn. It injects palpable fear into your heart. Fear that urges you to act before it's too late to ever act again. Fear that makes you frighten others. It's the aggression that lets you squeeze every last drop of information of a witness. At high levels, half-light makes you ultra-attuned to the world. It is perpetual fear of your own shadow, of someone else's name or scent. You'll be ready, always, to pounce and physically interrogate passers-by. At low levels, however, you'll find your survival instinct is lacking, and your methods limp-wristed. Those who respect violence will not respect you. Oh, well, it is now 1. Okay. You know, this has a lot of interesting takes. I mean, I knew kind of that it was obviously going to be very story-driven. That's why I picked it. But, I feel like you're getting lore dumped, if that makes sense. Like, it's a lot of information not necessarily relevant to what's going on in the game, but you're more finding out about yourself through your character. So regardless of how you started, I feel like, you know, like, this is how you see yourself. Because most people, I mean, unless they're doing something really off the wall, I feel that most people are going to start a character that they feel symbolizes them. And then all the choices you have to make in the game is like, oh, you know, like, it looks like you're more this kind of person. I don't know. I'm not explaining it well, but I think it's a interesting take on it. You're learning about yourself through your character, and that's it's an interesting morality system. I don't know if that was their intention, but that's what it feels like. Anyway, I'm going to stop there for now. And let's go ahead, save, confirm. And I will see you guys next week. I hope everyone has a great weekend. We're almost in August, so that's going to be fun. But you guys have a fantastic day.